Okay, I'm gonna put a new comic that has recently, well, it hasn't been released yet. I don't think. I'll just show you the first image. Um, and you know what? I'm not gonna ask you a question. Just want your take on it. Okay.
Okay.
Let
I
me
feel like I'm being set up for a trap here.
I think you're right, sir. I think I'm setting you up to. I don't
Voodoo
know.
ball man?
Here, I'm gonna show you the trailer.
Okay.
Yo, the like to dislike ratio on this is like I haven't seen it this low since like YouTube Rewind 2019 or something. Okay.
Okay. I can't see it yet.
My name is Daniel Kibblesmith, and I am the
Oh,
writer
stop,
of
stop,
New
stop, stop.
Warriors number.
Yes.
You didn't even have to play it. So, okay. And, I will explain, I could explain all of them without you even having to go any further than what you were playing on the
Here
video.
we go. We'll leave it at this still from.
And, I could even name all of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new comic called New Warriors
Mm-hmm.
that has these characters that to me are everything that is absolutely wrong with the idea of representation in media.
I agree with you.
So if people are looking at your screen, from the YouTube video, you can follow along. If you're listening on whatever your favorite platform for podcast is, you just listen. So the first character we have here is, there are two, I would presume to say, African American characters.
Mm-hmm.
One, her name is Snowflake. She is a non-binary character that has the power to make basically ice shurikens.
Okay.
And standing next to her is her gay brother, who's also a jock,
Okay.
because that's how they written him to be. Like, what sport is he playing?
Mm-hmm.
Um, his name is Safe Space. So we can already tell by the names that they're trying to take these names that are attributed to millennials, really.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait,
You know,
for the YouTube listeners, I got the schematics. I got the schematics on the screen. I got the character designs right here. All right, keep it going.
okay, yeah. So Safe Space is able to create force fields, more
Mm-hmm.
or less, for someone to defend someone,
Yes.
but not to defend himself. So,
Ah.
like, let's say me, you, and Safe Space are all in a room,
Yo, I don't want to be in a room with me, you, and safe space.
and I'm
Okay.
coming up, and I'm like, "Yo, Vapi Chulo, I'm mad. I'm about to knock you out."
Yeah,
He could like, put a shield around you to protect you.
I like that.
Then if I look at him, say, "Yo," but then if I look at Safe Space, it's like, "Yo, I'm not feeling you defending Vapi Chulo like that. I'm about to knock you out."
Uh-huh.
He can't create a shield for himself.
Mm. Do you think that's a metaphor? Do you think it's like talking about how most people love other people more than they love themselves, in that some people are always willing to go the extra mile for other people but not themselves? Do you think that was the deep metaphor in this?
No, I just think it was poor writing. I think all of this was poor writing.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So Snowflake and Safe Space, obviously they look almost the same.
Right.
Like the character design, there's nothing special. It's like one was made slightly shorter with smaller arms.
Mm. Oh, they're being edgy, bro. I'm assuming the male identifying individual, his outfit is pink, and I'm assuming the female identifying individual is wearing blue, and typically those are colors that represent the opposite gender in our society. Bro, this is revolutionary. What are you even talking about?
Well, in her character bio, she's non-binary,
Oh,
so
okay. Non-binary.
maybe she should be wearing purple or something.
Right, right.
But anyway, so there's those those two
All right.
characters.
Talk to me about the screen time guy.
So screen time.
Presumably Asian.
Presumably, yeah, maybe Asian, Filipino.
Okay. Yep.
Who knows? Maybe this is a version of one of our friends with hair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Did you catch on?
No, I got it.
Yeah. So screen time typically is like, oh, well, you're going to limit the screen time of kids because you don't want them on the screen too much. You know, they're not maybe have short attention span. You know, they're always in front of a screen. So they said, oh, you know what we're going to do? We're gonna reclaim the word screen time. And this kid is able to access all of the internet because he was exposed to experimental internet gas.
Okay. I need you to break this down for me. I have two questions already. One, does that not mean that I am screen time then if I have my cell phone and Wi-Fi or a data plan?
I guess
Okay.
He can see it either through his goggles or his eyes.
But I can also see it off my phone. So, does he actually have a power? My second question is, what is internet gas?
It is a comic book creation.
Okay.
For this comic.
Oh, okay. So he can see augmented reality in real-time maps and can instantly Google any fact.
So can I.
That's what I'm saying. I can do the same exact thing off my phone.
Yeah, so I guess the only thing that would make him special is that if he was in a area with no service,
Oh, that's a dope power at that point.
then he could still do it.
No, I like that. Then never mind.
Like if he went on a camping trip, he could still watch YouTube videos.
I like that. No, I like that. This is a really bad version of all of the tech superhero and villains that we love. This is not even a bootleg Cyborg. This is not a bootleg Gear. This is just a really bad tech superhero, if that's what we are considering these characters.
Yeah, it's just like when we talk about the bad kind of pandering, this is the prime example.
Okay. All right.
The other two characters.
Be negative. What? Yo, I have never seen this character.
So B negative is a person.
Are they?
Kind of androgynous person, just by the picture. So get this, right? This individual gets a blood transfusion from a vampire named Michael Morbius. Which is a callback to the, director activist Michael Moore.
Okay.
And becomes a vampire.
I'm not mad at the design. The more I look at it,
the design, I would say, out of all of the heroes, the design is the best. It looks like an 80s version of a vampire. So, it's not too much going on there. But if you go down to the description, right beneath the character design, I don't know if it's here.
So it says B negative ages like a regular person, or does he? Okay, so it is confirmed. He is a male. That is confirmed.
Yeah.
And he definitely drinks blood, or does he? That's all they give us. So he's a leech sucker, is what.
Yeah. So it's like, oh well, they age regularly, or they don't, or maybe trying to tease it. It's like, ooh, but they're like a vampire, so they drink blood.
A copy, bro. No, you know what they're doing. This is the equivalent of Raven from the Teen Titans, where they are shrouded in mystery, and we don't really know anything until maybe the 15th chapter. That's what this is.
Well, you have Raven and you have Morbius, the living vampire.
There you go.
Which is also, Michael Morbius is I guess the combination of a liberal activist and a vampire.
Okay.
Which sounds like its own kind of satire in and of itself. And then the last one.
Oh, here we go. Trailblazer. Okay.
Trailblazer. she's. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, bro. She's just there to pander to the overweight community.
Okay. Well, what's her power? I don't want to call it pandering quite yet, even though I agree with
Her
you on that.
power is that she is brave and she inherited a magic backpack.
What does she put in the backpack other than snacks,
Has a pocket dimension in there.
like Kirby?
Yeah. Yeah.
um. So
So she's
Trip.
basically, Dora,
Uh huh.
Dora the Explorer grown up because she had everything in the backpack.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's Dora grew up and was a little overweight and had backpack and is brave.
Okay. Let's cut this out. Are you disappointed in Marvel as a whole company?
Yes.
Me too. Why are you disappointed?
I, Marvel had the right idea of creating heroes that are different.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, in this desire to have representation, they made the wrong idea of just converting all of the heroes that people have grown up to love and change their ethnicity or gender or race or sexuality for no reason other than saying that they want to make it different, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no one wants to change Batman from Bruce Wayne into someone else.
Mm-hmm.
He has too much history.
Mm-hmm.
So, the comment would be made, just create a new character that's really cool.
Well, this is.
Create
Keep going. My bad.
so to me this was kind of like that idea. So I do give them praise here because it's like, okay, you said create a new character, we created a new character. But I felt that they're trying to kill too many birds with one stone.
I
In
keep going.
in that, like, there's not a lot of Latino comic book characters. You have Robbie Ray as Ghost Rider, Blue Beetle, one of the versions of Blue Beetle from DC.
You have Trailblazer.
Yeah, Trailblazer. Uh, the White Tiger character for Marvel, but there's not a lot,
Right.
right? So they, I could create a character that, to me, is just a Latino character, but also has a rich history and cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't necessarily hit enough of the different labels, right?
Right.
So now I can't have a straight male Latino character. He's not different enough. I have to have a Latino non-binary trans character. And all of those characteristics are going to outweigh the characteristics of bravery and compassion and heroicism
Mm-hmm.
and all of the things that make a great comic book character a great comic book character. Like, no one is a Superman fan because he's a tall white guy.
Mm-hmm.
People are Superman fans because he saves the day and stands for justice and has a heart of gold. Like, to me, the marketing around these heroes, and this is what I was saying earlier, it got lost in the label of who they were rather than developing a great history and storyline of why we should cheer for these people.
I agree with you, and I think something that I want to add, which is basically a combination of what you're saying, is that this obviously was inflated with their personalities. It's so much so that you could see it in even their costumes, right? Whereas I'm looking at these people, right? These four people, I'm assuming these are like the elders that they're going to learn from. These four characters right here. These
Yeah,
characters,
they were
these
the original New Warriors.
okay, they look super cool. And so I'm just wondering why they couldn't, like, I think they could have gotten the point across if they gave little droplets of these over, like, this is overboard, these characters right here, and gave these really cool design characters doses of them, right? So if any one of these heroes just consider them identify themselves as non-binary, and then we learn that maybe chapter 7 or something when somebody misgenders them, right? Then we could move on, because by then we just established that one of these heroes are just really cool and they just so happen to be non-binary. The safe space stuff, I was cracking jokes about the metaphor, but I think you can assign that metaphor to any one of these well-designed superheroes, right? And it get the same point across, but instead you decided to go this route. This is like, unless this only works if, and this is not your intention, Marvel, because you're Marvel. This comic only works if it's like to make fun of these individuals, and you're not in the business of that.
Yeah. And the other thing that I've always thought was interesting, and I'm going to bring up a big example that you and I have gone back and forth at,
Mm-hmm.
is that if I made a movie and I expect the movie to make money, I could represent new groups and still tell a story that a lot of people are going to want to buy into.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the Kill Bill situation, right? Kill Bill was a box office success, had a story of a great female action lead, and people were lining up to watch it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I made a movie about, and I'm a Latino man, so that's why I use this reference. I can make a great movie about a Latino superhero where I now have representation for young Latin kids to see someone that maybe they don't see too often on a movie screen, that is still going to bring in all kinds of people, because it's like Will Smith. We've talked to him, we have podcasts about him before, but he was a superhero lead in Men in Black and Hancock. Action leads. There's not a lot of times where in those movies people bring attention to the fact that he's a black man, other than when he wants it to be, in those other kinds of films. Like in Hancock, he was a superhero. He wasn't a black drunk superhero. He just was a superhero. So to me, when you focus so much onto the identity, only people in that identity are going to want to support it. But because these are underrepresented, I can't even get the word out.
Underrepresented.
There you go. Groups, marginalized groups. There's not enough of them in numbers to make a difference in the support of the film. So that's why I don't know if you've heard this term that floats around the internet called "go woke, go broke."
Is that basically a person's way of saying, like, you're either all the way woke, or like there's no such thing as you having critical consciousness?
No, it's saying that once you pander to these groups and you exclude all the people that have made all of these franchises what they were, and you basically say that if you're a straight white man, you're bad, or or if you are part of the main group, the statistically normal group, this isn't for you. You excluded anyone that was going to contribute to your monetary success. So the more you go woke, you're going to go broke.
Okay.
Which has kind of proven itself,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. But
Now I have a picture of Miles Morales from the Spider-Verse movie, because as you were talking, I thought that this was a good example as well. I love the movie, and the main reason I liked the movie was because Miles Morales is trying to attempts to follow the footsteps of Peter Parker from a different multiverse, and then eventually learns that he can be a cool superhero, but still keeping all the